Called too much. Have you ever been called too much? Too loud? Too playful? Too talkative? Too different? Hi, that was me. For many years, I didn't understand why. I felt anxious around people's reactions, even though I was naturally confident, funny, and creative. Childhood full of many adults and many signals. Since I was born, I was surrounded by lots of adults, all with different educational backgrounds, beliefs, levels of maturity, inner child wounds, and cultures. I had a special maid who cared for me from birth. My mom, a business owner who hired many helpers, drivers, and other household staff. A single elderly neighbor who sometimes took me to his house to play before I was 2. A 17-year-old male neighbor who loved making me laugh. He would carry me on his shoulders, show me circles through his smoke. And when I asked him to do it again, he did it again and again, just to make me happy. Sadly, he passed away in a motorbike accident when I was only 5, and I didn't understand what that really meant at that time. A lovely childless couple next door who treated me like daughter and took me to weddings and social events. One time at a wedding, I refused to eat. Not because I wasn't hungry, but because I was afraid eating would remove my lipstick. And get this, I kept my little mouth open and refused to close it, just to protect that lipstick. I didn't realize it at the time, but my little action made everyone at the wedding laugh and feel happy. Looking back, it was funny, but it also meant my little brain was constantly adapting to different adults, rules, and emotional styles. Some were warm, some were strict, some were unpredictable. Without realizing it, my nervous system learned to read people carefully to feel safe. That's how anxious attachment quietly begins. When protection was missing, one female maid once called me stupid while helping me with homework. I ran to my mom for protection. She laughed and said the maid was right. My little heart burned. Even when you seek safety, you might not receive it. I begged to change schools because I felt unsupported. My mom refused. So I stayed in an environment where teachers humiliated me, a junior high principal shamed me publicly, and even threw my book on the floor. And I didn't tell my mom because I believed she wouldn't protect me. The free spirit child adults didn't know how to handle. Let's be honest, Mini-Me was hilarious. The teacher starts talking, and at the same time, Mini-Me starts talking to classmates. Consistently, enthusiastically, like a tiny live radio station. I didn't even realize my talking was a skill. Apparently, it captured my classmates' attention so much that they listened to me instead of the teacher. Guess what? Some parents complained to the teachers because their children's academic achievements went down. All thanks to me. Punishments came, shame came, confusion came. And I started believing something was wrong with me. Even in the middle of punishment and shame in elementary school, my playful, clever, mischievous side kept shining through. Funny moments that built my survival style. At 7, grade 2, during private tuition at my tutor's house, I was unmotivated and desperate, preparing for tomorrow's exam. Her 15-year-old son secretly mouthed answers to me behind her back. I finished tuition early and went home laughing. At 13, studying alone at home, I hid comic books inside my textbook, so my mom thought I was studying seriously. I even recorded my mom's angry voice and played it later during a family chill session, and everyone laughed loudly. Humor became my shield. Creativity became my coping strategy. The inner experience of anxious attachment. Because of inconsistent adults and humiliating experiences, I learned to question kindness, minimize success, assume achievements were luck, analyze people deeply. Even when I scored high marks, I thought I was just lucky. Even when a classmate complained about my high score in grade 10, I felt confused and doubted myself. Junior and senior high, mischievous level expert. When I reached junior and senior high, I discovered another talent. I loved to tease my friends by matchmaking them with their crushes. As soon as I noticed a spark of interest between boys and girls. And here a fun twist. One boy tried to tease me back by saying a boy named blah 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 was looking for me. My clever little trick, I looked him straight in his eyes and said I had an interest in him. Guess what? He ran away, afraid of me. And apparently, my mischievous leadership skills didn't stop there. When I was in grade 7, one of my elder sister's male classmates came to me in front of my friends and called my father's name in a way that felt disrespectful. Mini-Me immediately activated detective mode. I gathered my friends and gave them a mission. We would observe where he put his school bag, patiently, strategically, like tiny undercover agents. After a few days of investigation, we found the perfect moment. And guess what we did? We filled his bag with stones. Mission accomplished. My friends and I laughed hysterically, proud of our dramatic little revenge operation. And when he finally found out that we had been filling his bag with stones, we heard his frustrated voice calling my father's name over and over. Honestly, later on, these mischievous adventures actually motivated me to go to school every day. I couldn't wait to see what little schemes and fun I could get up to next. Looking back now, I see a strong-willed, clever, playful child who didn't stay silent when something felt unfair. Even if her methods were, let's say, very creative. Jung's revelation, making the unconscious conscious. As an adult, an educator, everything clicked. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Suddenly, it became a revelation. Those adults didn't know how to handle a creative, expressive child who learned through talking and connection. What felt like rejection became understanding. What felt like shame became insight. And honestly, Mini Me was extremely entertaining. Adult life, the free spirit still creating. That same playful child became a YouTuber, a fashion designer creating my own houseware, an author with 3 books on Amazon, an early childhood and school age care educator, primary school principal and acting principal, head of early childhood department, accounting and finance staff, secretary, and branch manager, a client solutions consultant, a music composer, creating songs inspired by my life journey. All of this came from that clever, playful, resilient little child, guided by God, the universe, invisible energy, you name it. Message to adults: creative, expressive, free spirited children are not problems. They are innovators. They are future change makers. Support them, guide them without shaming them. Because when nurtured, they transform the world. And if you were once called too loud, too playful, too different, maybe you were never the problem. Maybe you were simply a free spirit waiting to be understood. When you make the unconscious conscious, your story becomes not fate, but revelation.